Mad, sick, Reggaeville.
Reggaeville family, thanks for tuning in today. I have with me not a musician, but someone who highlighted the life of a musician over the past 15 years. And he made a wonderful, wonderful movie. I was able to attend the premiere here in Munich. Thank you very much. Volker Schaner is with me, and he is the director and the maker of Lee Scratch Perry's Vision of Paradise. How you doing, Volker?
Wonderful, and thank you very much for having me here.
Thanks for joining me in the park. As I said it already, I was able to watch a movie and I really, really liked it. And I'm not telling you this because we're sitting here doing this interview, but because it was really, really a good movie. How are you happy now, or how do you feel about this final product now? Because this was 15 years of filming, collecting footage, following Lee Perry, and then eventually now presenting this product to the world.
How I feel? Yeah. Very complicated. Huh? I'm very happy because people and Lee like the movie very much, and but it's very hard to bring it to the world and bring it to everybody, and it's a lot of work still. Yeah, after finishing, but. The people like the movie and they give energy back, return some energy, and say the movie has even some healing powers, which feels very good. You know.
Nice. I'm glad to hear. As I said, I also really enjoyed watching it the other day. How did you, 15 years back, come up with the idea of making a film and then choosing Lee Perry as the main character or the person that this movie is about?
Because I was a huge Lee Perry fan since I can think, since I can remember, that I can think. Since I was 14 years old, I heard the music of Bob Marley, and then I found out that there is somebody behind Bob Marley, and then I found out it's Lee Perry, and then I was listening to Lee Perry records, and then I heard that he is living not so far from here, somewhere in Switzerland, in the mountains of Switzerland, and since then it was my major dream to make a movie with him, about him, with him, yeah. And that's how it came.
And then you just take your phone and call him and be like, "Hey, Mr. Perry, I want to make a movie about you," or how did this then move on further?
Well, not when I was 14. It took another 16 years or 15 years then to studied movie and everything, and then together with a Israel friend, we decided to contact him, and then it was basically a phone call. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did he say when he heard when you presented the idea of making the film?
We said we said, I don't remember, that it was our biggest dream to make a movie with him, and this he accepted in the first phone call, you know. But it was also through his wonderful wife Mireille, who loved the idea from the beginning. We speak a little bit the same the same dialect, or when she is Swiss, so we can a little bit adapt. And there was an immediate link. It was very funny from the beginning, and so it came.
Okay. But the film is not. I wouldn't say, and you also didn't say that at one point. It's not a biography. It is. It's a very, let's say, colorful picture, of course, of his world and of his vision of paradise. And this was from the beginning the idea to say we're not making a biography or we're not making a documentary on him, but his vision. Or did this come along in the process of these 15 years?
No, this was the idea from the beginning. I was never really happy or satisfied just to do a biography, because then you have to say, okay, he recorded this day or this year with this guy, and the other year with the other guy, and so, and then we have a living and fascinating Lee Perry with us, so we decided to give the biography just a little piece, you know, and then and go on a major trip with him. You know, this is what I always. This is basically, we are so close to Lee Perry, and with the movie, people can also be close to him, you know, and this is what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely. And you said you went with him, and you traveled with him. You were in Switzerland, you were with him in Jamaica, you were with him in England, and you also traveled to Ethiopia. How were all these trips like with him? Is he really as crazy as we see him on camera, even when camera is turned off? How is traveling with him?
it's not a big difference if the camera is on or off. And Lee is like he is. He never acts or something like this. Lee is a very, very lovely person, and you just can be very grateful that you can spend time with him, because he's just another sort of human being, if he is a human being at all. And if the camera is on, you catch it, and if it's not on, you regret that the camera was not on. It's just everything lovely what happens around him. He has this kind of special energy that makes everything wonderful. And somehow with the camera, because we worked so long together, we found a strange way of communicating with the camera, and everything we do is just like I just turn on the camera and it's something really nice comes out. The movie was not completely planned, and so because you cannot plan him, you have to follow him, and everything is just like a big happening, like a big performance.
So there was never no moment where you felt like, okay, this is awkward because this is now a very intimate moment and I'm still here capturing this with a camera, and this moment will possibly later be shown to anyone who watches this movie?
No, I was not really thinking like that, because we were not shooting live. You can edit. The thing is, what was all the time important for me is to maintain this vibration that he has, and then not to put him on the corner and ask him the same questions about Bob Marley all the time again, that people ask him all the time. The challenge was to have him as playful and natural, and to portray him as this amazing person that he is.
There's a scene in the movie where he comes off the phone after an interview, where you ask him that if Lee thinks that the interviewer understood what he was saying. Do you think that you fully got to understand the person that Lee Perry is, or what he thinks and all his mindset?
Oh, I don't know if I understand myself, so so how can you understand a person like Lee Perry? But on the other hand, I was following him, so I'm studying and following him since such a long time that I think I am quite close in understanding him. But it hasn't been like this all the time, But it's no shame. Then you don't understand. You don't have to understand everything, or you also don't have to explain everything, Now, also in the movie, you don't make a psychogram, or I don't know how you say it in English. You don't have to explain people. You have to feel them. And that's more than this. I didn't understand anything, also not everything. In the beginning it was catastrophe.
Also with the language
Of course, language-wise, because I was never really in Jamaica and I just know the language from the records. And in the beginning, it's an advantage that you film and then you can rewind, and then you watch it again and you can rewind again, and then after, a little later, and so you find out what it's all about. And so.
But apparently you catch his thoughts, at least to that extent, that there are sequences in the movie where something like comic strips show what is going on in his thoughts and how he sees the world and his vision of paradise, literally, right? So who came up with the idea for these comic strips that you made in there, and that story that goes differently from your material, the actual material you filmed for the movie?
Well, it was the guy leader and me, the first director. I was starting the project with. We wanted to implement animation, and when we've been to Ethiopia, then you visit those churches, and those churches are painted full of those animations. It's like the churches are more like comic books, and so with this naive, wonderful, colorful-looking pictures, and they're telling stories like in comic books. Without words and so, And then I just thought, okay, this is it. Then we have to talk the stories like this, because those stories are different, like the stories we know from in our culture. They tell different stories. They tell exactly stories about paradise and how a demon conquers the dragon, and the dragon is then ruling the world since the demon conquered them, and so. And these are exactly those stories that this is exactly Lee's world, with demons that represents greed, demon that represents fear, demon that represents supremacy. They conquer the human being and control the human being, and so you have to get rid of your demon to be free. And these are the stories that we found. We found the imagery in Ethiopia. So was also a circle that was closing itself, because Lee, of course, as a Rastafari, is referring to Ethiopia as to black Jewish culture.
And who actually drew those comics then?
It was Maria Zagorodsky, a wonderful artist from Romania, who understood the idea, maybe because she's Orthodox or maybe she's exceptionally talented, from the first Skype call we had, and she was also a very huge, or she is, of course, still a very huge Lee Perry fan. And she we just had a communication in Romania, and then I said and I felt somehow that she is the right one, and said, paint me a demon. It's called supremacy, and then 3 days later she came with the most wonderful painting, and then I said, okay, she's the right one. Then she painted the whole thing, and we photographed the paintings. It was handcrafted or handmade paintings, and we photographed them, digitized them, and then put them into After Effects and animated and everything,
And how much say did Lee himself have in this thing, in the movie, and also especially for the comics, which are kind of his vision that are put into picture there?
Well, a lot. We did it together, just he was not there in everyday editing, of course, but we met all maybe 3 months, and because he's not living so far. And then I showed him all the scenes, and then when the movie came slowly but surely into his narrative form, he was doing some changes, it is the whole story about the magic circle. I don't know if you realize that in the movie there is when he opens his arms and makes like so, and then he makes circles, Okay. Yeah, and this is basically, if it goes clockwise, it's the time. Yeah, it's the time going on in a normal way. And this is the first half of the movie, yeah. And in the second half of the movie, as in the first half of the movie, we tell all this biography, all the backgrounds. In the second half of the movie, we turn anti-clockwise to rewind time to the beginning, to eliminate evil, to eliminate all the mistakes that have been done since the beginning of time, So this is the dramaturgy of the story, and this I also didn't understand from the beginning, So this came later, and then Lee added some really wonderful ideas with paintings of portraits of himself that were placed in the paradise, and paintings from Maria again that were in the beginning and in the end. And then he has also idea that when he opens his arms, that there are feathers comes out, and then there is a joint of the sun and the moon in the end, and the sun goes before the moon, which is a secret motive that all those kind of little stories that are in the movie that are a little bit hard to explain now,
So you have got to watch the movie. We said it a couple of times already. The whole project took 15 years. Was it supposed to be 15 years, or did you just feel now is the right time to come out with the movie, or why did it take so long?
Yeah, because it's a complicated subject, and it's also self-financed, and so we had all the time work on something else, and the money we earned and to put into this, and we didn't want to release the movie when we're not happy with it, and it just took its time, It was, and it should not be. We always, all the time, thought this movie will be done for eternity, yeah. So don't give it a quick shot, and that's basically why time didn't. Because it was self-financed and nobody made us a lot of pressure, so we could take our time until we think it's really finished, and then somehow we had to finish it. And if not, I would be still working with on it, and try to make it a little bit better and so.
But does it feel weird now? I guess you're still in touch with Lee, right? You've been to the Reggaeville show where he played also. Is it weird now not to film when you're around him?
We continue filming, of course, but it don't have to be another movie or so. We'll see. We are planning it to have. Also, we're thinking about a Vision of Paradise Part 2, because Vision of Paradise Part 1 was the movie that explains it all. Yeah. And this Vision of Paradise Part 2 will be the movie that explains nothing. It's just like let everything pass and everything. You don't have to repeat what he has been doing in the 70s. We don't have to go to Ethiopia to explain all those backgrounds. We just can be with him without me introducing and explaining everything.
Soak in the energy of his genius. The movie is out. Where can the people right now watch the movie? Where is it showing? In what cinemas? Where in the world?
In which cinemas in the world? I don't know exactly. Yeah.
But it's showing in Germany in several cities.
Yeah, in all major cities. Yeah, in Germany, and this still goes on for some time, and then it will be released, I think, end of April or somewhere mid of May, DVD and VOD. In UK, the cinema period, I think, is now over with great success. And with a lot of people, I heard. I don't know the numbers yet. And the DVD with a beautiful 24 pages booklet with animations and all really wonderful stories will be released in the end of April. And then comes France, USA, and Canada, with cinema and the whole thing, And then the movie will be available on all these channels, iTunes, Amazon, and this DVD from Cadiz Music in all throughout the world, and Studio Hamburg in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, and on our own VOD channel. This is on our website, visionofparadise.de.
And there is another thing, because of course you collected a lot of footage throughout the years, and then of course it's 97 minutes, I think, is the movie. So of course it's just the friction of the material you actually have, and I think you're gonna put out a little more of it, right?
Yeah, we are working on this exactly, and this will be we call it collector's edition. We prepared around 150 scenes, concerts, interviews, and everything we did is edited and prepared and mixed, and will be available also on our website or on a special collector's edition units that will be out soon. I don't know when.
So there are a lot more episodes coming out still.
Yeah, a lot of beautiful things that are edited like own movies, Yeah. But couldn't fit into a 95 or a 97 or feature format. Yeah. But amazingly beautiful things, you can only dream of. And we continue doing shooting and editing and putting it up to to VOD and so on. Yeah.
All right. Good. Yeah. Because when you watch the movie and then it's been such a long period of time where this has been done, you even as a viewer feel kind of, now it's over, but thank God it's not over.
No, thank God it's not. Also, Lee Perry is such an amazing person and such a genius and such a person that happens to be on to grace the mankind maybe one time in 100 years, that you have to do that, and somehow I'm happy that I'm one of those guys who can film with him and I can show it to the world. But there's something missing. A Jamaican has to do a movie or something with him, because he is from Jamaica and I have only the European point of view, and there should be some Jamaican who should put some light on Lee Scratch Perry in Jamaica, his time of the Black Ark, his story with Bob Marley, and all those kind of things done by a Jamaican. This is my recommendation.
Yes. All right. So you're hearing him, directors out there in Jamaica. you have a work. No, see.
Yeah.
Volker, thank you very, very much for taking the time. And I wish you all the best, great success for the movie. It deserves it, definitely. Thank you very much.
I thank you for giving me the opportunity to present me and us in the movie, and thanks a lot. It was really wonderful. Yeah. Thanks.
Mad, sick, Reggaeville.